Chapter 148 of Chainsaw Man, titled Room 606 Sword, sheds light on one of the biggest mysteries in Chainsaw Man thus far. Who is Little Arm Magoo, and why does he think that Denji is a Chainsaw Man wannabe? Turns out he just kinda failed the vibe check. But that was probably the least important detail of today's chapter, seeing as all of our prayers have finally been answered, and we see the return of Asa and Yoru focused chapters. Most importantly though is that we finally got a glimpse as to what Yoru's power-ups will look like as the world grows increasingly fearful of war. But before we jump right in, I just wanted to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video. Me. I did not pay myself to put this in, but my metal cover of the Chainsaw Man anime opening Kickback is now live on my channel, as well as everywhere else you can stream music. I'm also doing a fun little giveaway where if you watch my Kickback music video, then comment the funniest thing you could think of, you could potentially win 30 bucks. We don't necessarily have the Mr. Beast budget. There will be a link to the music video down in the description below, as well as at the end of this video, but for now, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's just jump into that chapter 148 review. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in today's chapter is probably something a lot of people are talking about right now when it comes to Chainsaw Man. It's no secret that the past few chapters have seen a decline in art quality. This chapter in particular had a few moments in the Japanese and English releases where it looks like some panels aren't cleaned up and some characters just look rough overall. I'm pretty sure the panel cleaning issues are addressed in some of the other languages releases of this chapter, like the Portuguese version. This isn't me complaining, I can't even draw a straight line. I'm more voicing my concern for Tatsuki Fujimoto and his health, work schedule, or potential waning interest in the series. The truth of the matter is that the manga industry is a pretty brutal place where artists have to spend all day every day hunched over drawing tablets, working tirelessly to meet strict deadlines. I know Fujimoto has seemingly broken free of this cycle by switching to Jump Plus, but there's still a societal pressure to keep putting out chapters as consistently as possible. This isn't exclusive to the manga industry in Japan though. For example, if a YouTuber doesn't put out a video once per week, they run the risk of being viewed as having fallen off. We've seen this happen before where some mangaka will even put out an unfinished chapter in order to meet a deadline, like what happened with Jujutsu Kaisen a few years ago. Now, I don't want to pretend like I know what's going on in Fujimoto's life, but I know that me and a lot of other people have proposed the idea that maybe he and Chainsaw Man as a whole could benefit from a break or something. Nothing crazy, maybe just like a month or two for him to relax and maybe rediscover why he loves making manga in the first place. That said, little art issues like this usually end up getting fixed in the volume release anyway, so there's a potential that all of these little issues here and there will be fixed in a few months' time. As for what actually happened in the manga though, Fujimoto is once again cooking with fire. Between Quan Chi staying behind so Denji and crew could escape and Yoru's power-up at the end of the chapter, I feel like the plot is gaining more and more momentum. The one big thing I've been scratching my head over for the past few weeks though, is who is this guy who called out Denji last chapter, and why is he so certain that he's a Chainsaw Man wannabe? I've searched all over Chainsaw Man Part 2 to see if I can find another appearance of him, and I found nothing. Thankfully though, today's new chapter shined a little bit of light as to why this guy is so adamant that Denji is one of them. He's a crazy old man that assumes that every young person that's rough around the edges is somehow associated with the Church of Chainsaw Man. And he's not necessarily coming from out of left field when he says that, because he's just witnessed countless young people like Denji transform and kill innocent people. The irony in this situation though is that the young man he's pointing at isn't a Chainsaw Man wannabe, he's actually Chainsaw Man himself. Denji probably could have just pulled the cord himself and shown that he's not a Chainsaw Man zombie, he's the real deal, but he's already been warned what'll happen if he does that. Which I feel like the circumstances have changed enough at this point with the whole societal collapse thing that maybe Yoshida's point should be reconsidered. The thing that confuses me most though is that if public safety is aware that Denji is Chainsaw Man, why wasn't the other public safety officer cued in on this? You can't tell me that the higher-ups trust loose lips Fumiko who can't keep her mouth shut more than Mr. Clean here. I guess that's just the special division difference. So now we're at the highly anticipated Yoshida versus Yoru fight, and I just had an incredibly sad realization. Yoshida hesitated in his follow-up attack against Asa after seeing how he wounded her. It was like some sort of come to Jesus moment, which kind of brings us back to the reality that not only is Yoshida just another kid in high school, he's also a lot less cold than we originally took him for. You can kind of see it written all over his face in this one panel that what he's doing right now is causing conflict within him. He's then finally brought back to reality when Asa says, "Ow!" and he calls upon Octopus to constrict her. But unfortunately for him, she had already gotten her move off when she turned her apartment into a sword without even touching it. And this is where we see who the true winner of the fight was gonna be, because after seeing how one swing of Yoru's new sword would have turned him into pink mist, Yoshida fled. Now there's still a potential that Yoshida didn't actually run away and he was just repositioning himself in order order to deal with the fact that he can't get too close to this new weapon. But after seeing the inner conflict written all over his face with having to hurt Asa, his faith in public safety must be pretty shaken right now. Not only has he spent the past however many months meddling in her life, now he has to be the one that takes her down even though he knows she herself is innocent. Add the fact that she shares a body with the Horseman of the Apocalypse who now has a weapon of mass destruction, I'd also nope the fuck out of there. I wouldn't be so surprised if this public safety dog ends up taking off his collar. Now as for Yoru's power-ups that are coming with society's increasing fear of war, I feel like this is only just the beginning. It seems like all that's been added at this point is that she could turn something into a weapon without having to touch it, but I wouldn't be so surprised if it turns out she can also make a stronger weapon out of something she has a lesser attachment with. Take for example the pencil spears she made in her fight with Yuko. Those could also potentially be stronger now than they were before. That said, I struggle to imagine what kind of power-up Yoru could receive that would put her on par with the King of Terrors herself, the Death Devil. Knowing Fujimoto, it's probably going to be something none of us could ever possibly conceive, just like Chainsaw Man's power to erase concepts from existence by eating their devil. So I'll leave this task up to you. What kind of power-up could you see Yoru getting that would make her stronger than any other character in Chainsaw Man thus far? Stronger than Makima, stronger than the Darkness Devil, stronger than the Falling Devil. We'll go over what you guys think in my Chainsaw Man pre-chapter release live stream next Monday night and see if anyone's cooking with their theories. That's about all for today's chapter review video though. Remember to like and subscribe and check out my Kickback music video, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye now.